Hej, siemaneczko, z tej strony Dalia Rozgol 22 i witam serdecznie w trzecim już odcinku z Our Life'a Beginnings and Always. I skończyliśmy ostatnio na takim dobrym momencie, w którym mamy iść oglądać świetliki i dziś będziemy to kontynuować i zobaczymy, co z tego wyjdzie. No, ja jestem mega podjarany, jestem mega ciekaw, co się będzie działo, także od razu przejdźmy do scenki. I'll get it. Your big sister jumped out of her seat and ran over to the door, pulling it open without even looking out the window to see who it was. Huh? You shifted in your seat to try and get a glimpse of unexpected guest.
Hi.
Good evening, Cove. Cove przyszedł. Bardzo. Fajnie coś przewinąłem. Lock, to będzie to? Tak. Your mommy had already walked to the door by the time you managed to see past Sheila's flappy head. Oh, Cove. You're here, hi. There are a million things you thought of that you wanted to tell him about. This is Homer in the baseball game earlier in the day. Your first successful cartwheel. But most importantly, you wanted to ask if he'd come firefly catching with you all. You saw him direct a smile at you and returned it with an eager wave. Then, for a few seconds, Cove said nothing. He only stood there and looked up at your mommy with a face almost like he was considering turning around and leaving. My dad told me to drop this off cause I guess he borrowed it from you. Cove took a familiar screwdriver from out of his large side pocket. His eyes now dropped to the floor. We left our back home when we moved. Great, thanks, bye. Thank you. Here, why don't you come inside for a bit? Wieczór nam przyniósł coś, co pożyczył jego ojciec, chyba jakiś screwdriver, a mogę nawet to sprawdzić, co on to tam pożyczył. Jakiś taki skrobak. Śrubokręt po prostu. Śrubokręt pożyczył, on przyszedł oddać i on teraz wtedy z nim mówił, że do widzenia, a ten, że chce zostać. Dobra. Zobaczmy. Lizzie crosses her arms and lifted her chin. Cove shrugged and Mom stood from the table too. I'll give your dad a call to let him know you got here all right. I zadzwonił jego ojcu, że jest wszystko w porządku. Żeby został. Cove shuffled full inside, eyes remaining on the ground. Mommy closed the door behind him. Hi, Cove. Sheila gave Cove a friendly smile while waving by holding up his hand and opening and closing his fingers. Cove nodded in response. Cove, are you going to catch firefly with us? You could come outside with us if you wanted to. You weren't sure what to say now. Pierwsze. You could see Lizzie eyeing you for mentioning the exertion to an outsider, but she'd get over it. You crossed your fingers behind your head and looked at Cove expectantly, hoping he would say yes and you to spend some time with him. Yeah, that sounds cool. I never caught one before. O Jezu, będziemy łapać świetliki z Cove'em, patrzcie jak fajnie. Dobrze. It's too bad he didn't have a chance before now. The fireflies weren't out when he first moved in, and there must not have been anywhere he used to live. We can't go until after dinner. After she pointed this out, Lizzie walked back to the table and took her seat. There wasn't much left on her plate. Since this was very true, you decided to finish up your own stuff as well. Cove stepped closer and eyed what was on the menu for your family's meal. Znaczy, on sobie tam spojrzał, wszyscy się z powrotem do stołu, to trzeba najpierw, zanim pójdziemy na świetliki, skończyć jeść. I on sobie tak spojrzał tylko, co my tam jedliśmy. Have you eaten yet? Yeah, my dad and I ate earlier. What did you have? Eggs. The clipped one-word answer seemed to discourage Sherlock from asking any more questions. His eyes slowly wandered back to the last scraps of food on his plate. Her phone call with Cove's dad must have ended because your mom came back into the room.
Okay.
Cove, your dad said you can stay for a little while if you'd like, but he's going to come get you before it gets too much later. Sure. Oh, fun. This will be so nice. As you polished off the meal, you hoped it would be too. The three of you all finished eating shortly after Lizzie led the way outside. Dobra, czyli zjedliśmy w końcu i idziemy chyba na zewnątrz. Pamiętajcie, nie odbywajcie się zbytnio daleko, dobra. Okej, w porządku, odpowiedziała Lizzie. Sherlock trailed so closely after Lizzie he was nearly stepping on her heels. Both hesitated at the door. Come in? After a moment he did.
Bye.
Bye children. Idziemy na dwór łapać świetliki nareszcie. Save'ik robimy. The two of you were a good 10 or 15 feet behind Lizzie and Sherlock. By the time you walked outside, you pushed the door shut behind you, watching the figures get farther and farther away. You're so slow, Dahlia, we don't have all night. No, czyli jesteś taki wolny, Dahlia, nie mamy całej nocy. You started to run when you heard Lizzie's voice calling you, but paused when you saw Cove still walking at a relaxed pace. Are you not gonna come? You tugged him along with him. You fall behind, tossing him a smile. Don't worry, you're gonna love it. Cove glanced over at you, giving you a slow and nod with a strange look on his face. What is it? Nothing. Aj, ślicznie. Podoba mi się, będziemy się tego napić. By the time you two reached the hill, Lizzie had already climbed to the top. Sherlock was spinning in circles somewhere around the middle. Bright winking of lights floated like blue eyes on a wave. One drifted close enough for you to see the firefly at the center of the glow, and you looked at Cove, excited to see his reaction. Czekam na reakcję Cove'a. He looked just as entranced. Wow. Sherlock took a moment to come over and welcome the both of you to the hill. Hi guys, it's really great out, huh? See how many there are? Yeah. A firefly danced through the air, landing on Cove's sea green head. Idziemy patrzeć. You took a couple of steps back slowly, trying not to spoil the little bag, as you admired how it glowed as brightly against Cove's hair. Cove raised an eyebrow, giving you a confused look, and Sherlock giggled. You gestured to his head, and he reached up, making the firefly dart away. Cove jumped and followed after the glow. Oh, look, Lizzie has won. That's amazing. No, powiem wam, stąd chyba się fajna. I te świetliki w tle, jak to ślicznie wygląda. I te morze. Sherlock ran to the highest point of the hill, making sure not to close his head or backpack along the way. You hummed as the group divided as conquered, shifting your gaze to the dozens of other fireflies sailing around. The game was on. Mamy wybór. You had a bandage in your tongue and tried to be cautious. Mam bandażowe na udzie i muszę uważać. Coś takiego? Bandaże. Tu bandaże. Okej, czyli coś było bandaże, że mieliśmy jakieś zranienia. Wierzę hand. Spotting one close by, you approached it with assassin-like stealth, crouching down to make yourself seem like less of a threat. Slowly dragging one foot in front of the other, you crept as towards its arms outstretched. You closed your hands around the little glowing orb, careful not to crush it. The firefly landed on your palm, almost docile, and you started down on your pressed in the light. Its tiny legs tickled your skin, and you giggled at the sensation. Znaczy, złapaliśmy sobie świetliczka. Cove kept up with his own target, but when he tried to grab it, his pink tusk waved awkwardly through the air, foiling his efforts to clap his hands around the firefly. Wow. Cove watched it vanish into thin air with a dissatisfied expression on his face. Niezadowolony. Try again. Zachęcam, żeby spróbował jeszcze raz. You get the next one. Did you catch one? You nodded, and Cove gave up his hand for the moment, coming closer and peering at the insect still crawling across your palm. You held out your hand, and he leaned closer, eyes widening a tad behind his glasses. Cove remained hypnotized by the little bag as he inched his hand closer to yours. Jakaś scenka dobra będzie. Ultimately, he settled his fingers lightly over top of the ones you were holding open. It tingled. He stayed very still. Okay. The last thing you wanted was to accidentally scare the shiny treasure off. The firefly, noticing the new connection, propped up into Cove's hand. Quietly gasped. It worked! Yeah, you got one. Cove's lips turned up into a slow smile and his eyes shined brighter than the back. Okej, czyli tam mamy fajną scenkę przy tego świetliczka i no i usta Cove'a, pojawia się na ich uśmiech. Jaśniejszy niż światło tych świetlików. Dziękuję, Dalia. Your eyes and his locked together while still holding hands. He suddenly pulled away. O, zarumienił się. Startled by the extreme movement, tiny light disappeared before you could even blink. Your firefly was gone.
Sorry.
Oops, sorry. To muszę sobie przetłumaczyć, bo nie mam pojęcia, co znaczy ta słówka, powiem szczerze. Hold. To na pewno nie, bo to jest, że zbeształem go. Forgave, no przebaczyliśmy. Ale że to jest od forgive, dobra. That's okay, I couldn't keep it forever.
You're right.
Right, bugs have to stay outside. Let's get another. Nie, osiądę w trawie popatrzę. I think I'll look at everything instead. That's fun too. Okay. He poked the tip of his shoe into the soft dirt. I'll try to get something for you. Then we can be even. Wait, with what he made a run for it. You quietly took a seat among the flowers. The others were jumping and dashing all about. You saw how many times you succeed and failed, how Shiloh almost tripped a couple times. It was a dramatic show. All around you it was calm, the lights of the stars of fireflies surrounded you peacefully. It was a beautiful night. You laughed quietly to yourself as you watched the others, and Shiloh finally managed to catch a firefly between his small hands. His eyes lit up, and when he spread his fingers to take a peek at it, the bug escaped and flew off in the air. To zapiszemy tutaj. A to co dobrze. Oh. You watched as he pounced after it once more, but your eyes soon landed on Cove, who had failed to catch a firefly. No, dopingujmy go. You can do it, Cove. Cove smiled and you gave him a thumbs up, watching intently to see what happened next. While Cove returned to hunting fireflies, you settled for laying back against the soft grass, watching the poppies swing around you and the fireflies hovering against the west sky. Dahlia, you lifted your eyes to see Cove return to your side. Gdy wrócił Cove do nas, no i zobaczmy co dalej. His fist was carefully closed, czyli jego pięść była zamknięta. He stretched it out to the front of your face. You noticed a small glow coming from between his fingers, czyli złapał świetlika w końcu. I got one for you. Wow, what now? The hand disappeared and up and over you. This. You could tell from how he moved and his face that there must be a firefly on the top of your head now. You laughed, and it probably flew off, you thought. That made you laugh more. No, czyli prawdopodobnie, że był na mojej głowie, że to się zaśmiałem i tak dalej. Dziękuję, Cove. Dahlia, Cove, get up here, we're gonna have a race. I co, jakiś wyścig? Lizzie zrobić? The shouting caught you off guard. It had been quite a while since you heard from Lizzie or Shiloh. You glanced over to see them both standing up on top of the hill again, Lizzie beckoning to you with quick hand gestures. If she was like that, you knew there wasn't much room for disagreement. Up in the incline you went. From the corner of your eye you saw Cove was coming as well. He didn't care for Lizzie a lot, so you thought he might be intrigued. Może intrigued. Hitowe w ogóle, to jest hit. Pomijmy to. Just by the idea of a race. Hi, Cove, you can't roll down the hill, you can't hurt your arm again. You'll be the referee with the rest of us. As Lizzie pointed this out, Cove froze in place. Oh, it was the kind of race. He frowned down at his cast. That was the second time it got in the way tonight. What? You watch and see who gets the bottom first. That's important, got it? I guess. The cast was sturdy. If he was careful, he couldn't down it. Lizzie might have just been looking for a reason to make someone else the referee, but it was already decided. Zostaje z Cove'em. Really? Why? You don't have to. Dlaczego? Nie musisz. Ale chcę. Chcę popatrzeć. You moved beside him on the top of the hill even though Lizzie eyed you and made a face. That's not how races work. We only need one referee. Shrugging your shoulders, you refused to budge, and Lizzie let out a huff before throwing her hands in the air. Fine, I'll be the winner, whether you join or not. Okay, jeśli będzie wyścig pomiędzy Shilochem a Lizzie. Lizzie moved to lay down and Shiloh did the same. Cove stood slightly to the side to get a better vantage point, and you stood next to him. Count down. Cove stood up a little straighter. It seemed like he was taking his newfound referee duties seriously. 3, 2, 1, go! Lizzie and Shiloh took off, letting gravity do the work and running at height speed towards to the bottom of the hill. You and Cove leaned forward to watch them go, eyes peeled for which of the two would reach the bottom first. Okej, czyli ścigają się teraz. They were both neck and neck until about halfway down the hill. Lizzie started to veer off to the side, giving Shiloh a huge advantage. Jeszcze miał przewagę teraz. Lizzie hadn't noticed a thing and as soon as Shiloh reached the bottom of the hill, he jumped up excitedly and threw his hand in the air. I won! No, czyli Shiloh wygrał jednak. Almost immediately he fell back onto the grass, still dizzy from his roll down the hill. Lizzie stepped out of the bush he had ended up in, filtering angrily and brushing leaves from the front of her dress. Not bad, you got lucky. Let's do it again and see who wins for real. Kids, it's time to come in. No. You snickered, feeling grateful you hadn't been a part of the mini debacle. You covered his eyes and saw that he was doing the same. It had gotten late and I was beginning to feel just a bit chilly as you made your way out of the hills. But the cold in the air hadn't dampened anyone's spirits. The four of you walked back home together side by side down your neighborhood street, discussing the evening with each person trying to prove that you were the one who caught the most fireflies. Znaczy ze mną dyskutujemy, wracamy uliczką, do domku, idziemy sobie. You knew that whoever really did catch the most didn't matter much. Anyway, all that mattered was that you all had a good time, which judging by the smiles on everyone's face that you did. I nieważne kto złapał w sumie najwięcej świetlików, ważne, że wszyscy macie uśmiechy, wszystko jest fajnie i super. Aha. A, czy to były firefly? Mam takie. Okej. I mogę jeszcze te wziąć, tak? Dobra. Grown up. Długi dzień. Mamy jeszcze czas. Zapiszemy sobie elegancko. Zapiszemy sobie elegancko teraz, dobrze. Teraz tak. Dobrze, ja tylko jeszcze napiję. Ale nie jestem pewny, jak działają te przeskoki czasowe i to wszystko tutaj. Ale jeśli są opcje, to wykorzystujemy. Dobra. It was another scorching summer day. The kind where no sooner had you finished one cup of water, you were already filling it up again. Everyone else had something on, so that afternoon it was just you and Shiloh. This didn't happen much, especially since Kof had arrived. Without Lizzie around, Shiloh looked to you for all the answers. It made you feel pleased, frustrated. He was always wanting to hear what you thought instead of giving his own opinion, and expected you to come up with the plans. It was hard work, especially for such a hot day. Czyli był bardzo gorący dzień, a Shiloh się tak w sumie przyczepił trochę do mnie i zamiast swoje własne opinie dawać, to po prostu czekasz, ja coś powiem. Grind yet another drink and thrown out the empty vessel. Kolejne picie wypiłem i patrzę już na puste naczynie. Your thirst was gone, but you still craved something icy cold and refreshing. Something sweet, something like an ice cream cone. Nothing beat a classic creamy scoop of ice cream on a day like this. Czyli na lodzika byśmy chętnie poszli. W sumie no w gorący dzień sobie zjeść jakieś lodne gałki albo jakieś owłoski albo coś, to jest idealnie. Także popieram. There was nothing like that to be found at home. You knew that without needing to look, your mom didn't keep secrets in the house. Outside, there was plenty of places where such goodies could be obtained. But they were shops and demanded payment in exchange for their products. You cited, you voiced your predicament aloud, asked for help. To właśnie szło o pomoc. Dobrze. Do you have any money? Oh, let me check. That was easy. You felt like you should tell him why you were asking. Thanks. I want an ice cream cone, but my mom didn't keep any here. Shiloh rummaged in his backpack and proudly produced an assortment of coins with one stray button. You set the button aside and counted the coins in neat piles, just over $1. You announced this to Shiloh. You had almost certainly come to the same conclusion, but he'd been watching you expectantly. The start. that you will need to find some more. Okay. The two of you lifted the couch cushions, stuck tiny hands down deep crevices in the sofa and under furniture and scoured the back of the drawer. Czyli szukamy sobie pieniążków. Ciekawe, czy jakieś znajdziemy. Most of what you found was useless or gross. Bent paper clips, fluffy wisps, or dusty or scenty crumbs. But every so often you would strike silver or bronze and add it to the growing pile of coins. Czyli nic przydatnego, same jakieś dziadostwa znaleźliśmy, nic co by się nadawało jako monetka do naszej zbiórki. Dusting disheveled, checking every room and squinting into every tiny nook. The two of you finished pulling your finds. Love held his breath as you counted the coins once again. Tutaj pominąłem coś. Once again. $2, 53 cents and 2 buttons. You didn't know when the second button has decided to join the party, but you were too pleased with your successful haul to throw it out. Is that enough? If you could, he knew the answer without looking to you for confirmation, but the fruit of your success and the reward that would follow cancelled out any other feelings you might have had about that. Yeah. No świetnie, no i mamy hajsik. You could now afford something at the shops. Just one thing, but that was infinitely better than known. Shiloh clapped his hands. Yay! The two of you dashed outside. The promise of sugar buoyed. Dziwne słowo. You on to your destination were. Breathless but happy, you started at the overwhelming number of options. You knew what you wanted, but it wasn't just you who had contributed the funds to get that spread. He seemed to notice your past. Czyli mieliśmy dużo opcji. Musimy zobaczyć, która. Zobacz, czy zapauzowałem. Aren't you getting an ice cream cone? Nie chciałem ice cream cone'a. A cone to jest... Ja dobrze myślę, co to mi powiedzcie. Rożek, prawda? Dobrze kojarzę, dobrze, rożek, okej. Shiloh asked as though he was entirely separate from the decision rather than someone with a stake in the outcome. Do you mind? Znowu przewinąłem. Do you mind? Shiloh cocked his head to the side. It was your idea, you should choose. You went ahead and got what you wanted originally. Are you sure? Okay. Zapytam się, czy jest ok. Żeby też miał jakąś decyzję. Yeah. Really? Really? I się zgodził. List. You both the desert you longed for. With success. Finally, the reward for all your hard work was in your hands. You lapped at the soft ice cream, the sweetness perked you up. You held it out to Shiloh so he could take a turn. He shook his head. You can finish it. He didn't want any. After everything he did to help get it, that was weird. You tried to include Shiloh, dobra, żeby zawrzeć. Even if Shiloh said it was okay, every story you'd ever seen on TV or read in a book said that sharing was caring. You stood your ground, even as the thread started to trickle dangerously towards your fingers. It's only fair that you have some. We both bought it. To obaj to kupiliśmy, że ty też musisz coś dostać. Ale ty chciałeś bardziej. You wanted more than I do, and getting to play was a lot of fun already. You can have it, that's more fair. Mówię, że ja mam wziąć, ale nie mogę tak przyjąć. You held it out to him. I want you to have some even more than I want to finish it. So eat your part. Żeby zjadł swoją część. Powiedzieliśmy. Relenting, Shiloh took the thread. Read. Everet. Dobra, słuchajcie, ja jestem trochę już przespany, także nie przejmujcie się mną. Breathe and gave it a taste. His eyes lit up. I znowu przewinąłem. Relenting Sherlock took the treat and gave it a taste. His eyes lit up. It's really good, thank you. You smiled pleased with your good deed. You picked the best one. Did he mean it? Mean that? Sherlock was otherwise nice no matter what happened. Even if he hated it, you knew he wouldn't say so. Maybe he thought it was gross and that's the real reason why he didn't want to take some. You had no idea. You studied him as he ate a little more. He had every appearance of enjoying himself. Still weird. The two of you began to head back home as he ate. Zmierzamy do domu. Dobrze. Okej, idziemy w ciszy. Ramię w ramię. Dobra, no musimy trochę przystopować. Czekajcie, damy to na dwójkę tutaj. Słuchajcie, kończymy w tym momencie, bo już mamy trochę przekroczony czas, a ja też się muszę położyć spać dzisiaj. Ale serdecznie dziękuję za towarzystwo. Na dzisiejszy odcinek powiem wam, to był mega te świetliki, powiem wam majstersztyk. Tak mi się mega podobało. Mam nadzieję, że będzie jakieś więcej jakichś takich ciekawych ekstra scenek. Z lodami teraz to takie średnie, powiem szczerze. Że za Sherlock nie przepadam. Wolę kołwa, także zobaczymy co będzie dalej. A póki co dziękuję wam serdecznie za oglądanie i życzę wszystkiego dobrego i do usłyszenia. Trzymajcie się, pa pa.